you can be having gut issues and not even know it. You don't always need to have constipation or diarrhea or heartburn or GERD or bloat for gut issue to be afoot.
Because it does a lot, but please also know by the time you have this dishevelment in your body, by the time your bowels are altered, there's been the compound load, right? Now you're definitely going to get what? Brain fog, mood swings, anxiety.
Your gut is responsible for metabolizing, regulating a lot of your hormones.
I don't have any digestive issues is what I get. They appear alongside gut imbalances, right? Particularly when inflammation or food reactions are involved.
The food sensitivity is a symptom of poor gut health. This is Keep It Clear, real conversations about skin, acne, and women's health without the overwhelm. Because you deserve answers that actually make sense. Today's episode starts now. Fun fact here, everybody, is that you can be having gut issues and not even know it. You don't always need to have constipation or diarrhea or heartburn or GERD or bloat for gut issues to be afoot. Shocking, I know, but this is such an important thing to truly take in and digest. No pun intended.
I was like, did you?
I didn't. It just came out that way. Because I think a lot of people, they're like, oh no, I don't have gut issues, so that can't be what's causing my acne. When I don't want you to overlook this because you don't have those symptoms. So we find there's two camps, right? There's Camp A, who they got the gut symptoms. You know, they're like, Katie, I look 6 months pregnant every time I eat. I either don't poop for a week or I'm running to the bathroom. I have stomach pain. I have acid reflux. Obviously, those are tied back to gut. But Cris, there's also that other camp where they have no gut symptoms. Fun fact, acne is a symptom of poor gut health. So
you took mine.
Oh, shucks. I did. I'm sorry.
You took mine. I was going to take the easy one.
It was an easy one. Let's back up, though, and talk about some digestive red flags. You know, we all love to talk about a red flag. So let's talk about that digestively. I'll take the first one. The easy one is if you aren't having a healthy poop every single day.
Okay, that's two easies. You are done now.
Well, I poop is always one of the most viral. Whenever I talk about poop, it's hands down
poop.
The most popular
I get
topic.
Clients come in and they're like, Cris, oh wait, that's TMI. Oh no, you're the poop queen.
Yeah.
I have been deemed the poop queen.
That literally happened yesterday. A client was like, oh no, it's fine. Yeah, you don't mind me talking about my poop. I'm like, no, I want you to tell me literally everything about it. Yeah.
We could even have a feeling of pressure, swelling, tightness after eating. That can signal digestion's not really moving nice and slow. Fermentation of the food in the gut can contribute to that sensation as well. So not all the time we might get the gas and the bloat that comes with the fermentation, but we just kind of feel swollen, like roly-poly.
Yeah. You feel heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when we're looking at a healthy bowel movement, just so everybody knows, if you haven't heard me shout it from the rooftops on my social media, maybe you're new here and you haven't, so listen up. A healthy bowel movement is 1 to 3 times a day. It is one long, smooth snake. Cris is it's got to be 3 times a day.
3 main meals in, 3 bowels out. However, fine, I'll give you 1 because
we'll give you 1 to 3.
Because.
Yeah, let's start there. 1 to 3, one long, smooth, snake-like movement. It shouldn't be pebbly. There should be no straining, no undigested food, blood or mucus in the stool. It also shouldn't be blobs and watery and you're running to the bathroom because it's got to come out now. One long, smooth, snake-like movement. If you're familiar with the Bristol stool chart, I will put that in the show notes as well. You want a 3 or 4 on the Bristol stool chart. That is what we want as a unicorn poop. We do not want constipation. We do not want diarrhea. So if you are somebody that is pooping once a week, this is a massive red flag. It's 2 red flags actually, because where is all that stuff going? I'm trying not to swear. Where is it all going? It's staying in your body. So no wonder you're feeling heavy and bloated because you have a lot of literal crap stuck inside your body. So if we aren't pooping let's talk about what happens with both constipation and diarrhea.
Well, they're both the same thing for us. We have a loss of nutrients. We have inflammation. We have the information channels, right? With diarrhea, it's more hyperexcitability. The body's getting rid of it. Foreign invader, alert, get rid of. Where the constipation is ho-hum. I think I'll just take a nap. Right? And that's kind of the difference between the two. But either way, it just always think inflammation. And if you go back to the stress equals inflammation, inflammation equals signs and symptoms, and then disease, disorder, and illness, it starts to make sense for people now. So really, when people say, what's the difference? Well, one is you're peeing out of your bum, and the other one is you can't get it out of your bum. That's the true clinical.
That's the clinical.
That's the clinical that
in medical journals.
Yes, it was.
You'll see that in medical journals.
We would have more doctors if the language was like that.
It's just much easier to understand. But no matter what was going on, like Cris said, it's inflammation. Because if we're dealing with constipation, it's because we're probably not breaking our food down well. We're also, if it's sitting too long in our gut and it's not being broken down, then it's going to become a perfect little buffet for all of the bad bacteria and yeasties that want to be feeding on it. It's their new dinner. And then it's also going to be leading to an imbalance of bacteria in your gut. So now we're dealing with a higher level of bacteria, higher level of yeast or candida. And then if it's not moving quick enough through the digestive tract, guess what? All of those excess hormones like your estrogen and your toxins and just stuff that your body's trying to get rid of, it actually, if it's sitting there too long, can reabsorb back into the body through the bloodstream, circulate through the body, head back to the liver. So now we're dealing with a higher level of inflammation, toxicity, and hormonal imbalances in the body because you're not pooping. Because if you're not getting your estrogen out, guess what? You're just leading to more hormonal imbalances. So this is when we have clients that are like, I have hormonal acne. I'm like, are you pooping every single day? They're like, oh no, I go like once a week. And I'm like, well, there we go. That's a big contributor to hormonal acne is if you're not pooping every single day.
Well,
and then
hormonal imbalances, that's its own classification. That's its own red flag.
It's its own red flag.
Right? Irregular cycles, PMS, skin changes, right? Because everybody, what about libido shifts?
Libido shifts, absolutely.
So, but this not only connects, like you were saying, to that gut flora, it influences, again, that hormones, recycling is actually and the detoxification pathways. So where hormone imbalances is its own categories, do you see how each category can be interdependent of another system because we are all one whole unit?
We don't work in silos. The body is one whole open floor plan.
This is not insert the windshield here.
No. We got to be working together. And then when we're looking at that diarrhea, if it's going too quickly through the body, you're going to be real malnourished because you're not getting the nutrients. You could be eating the best diet in the world, but if you're not...
hydration.
Yeah, you're going to be dehydrated. You're going to be malnourished. And when you don't have nutrients and hydration, your body is on the struggle bus. And that's just from your poop alone. Now, maybe we're dealing with bloat after meals. And that can be, again, from not breaking our food down. It can be also caused by an overgrowth of bacteria in the gut. That's going to be
not even chewing your food properly or food
not
combining.
Chewing your food.
So often if I see people that are eating well-positioned meals like proteins, fats, and fibers, or eating whole foods, these types of things, I will, and I don't do this first, but I will start to go to a food combining. And I will say, please, 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 especially my poor vegans and vegetarians, they tend to get this more often than not, than the omnivore, who are eating, just like say the meats and the low starches. You add in the potato, omnivores in the same category, right? But I start to take out that rice and I reposition their protein, which is still a carbohydrate, but the beans, the lentils that makes the complete protein with the rice. And I start to reposition how they're eating those throughout the day. And what a difference. And right there, we know, hello, digestion. Hello, gut. Hello, let's slow things down.
Then, what about fatty foods making you nauseous? We see this.
Well, then you need some bile.
You need some bile. Your gallbladder needs a little bit of love. And if you don't have a gallbladder, I hope to God somebody has told you that you need ox bile.
Yeah, or tunka, or
tunka,
you need something in order to help, because we need a lot of bile in essence, because gallbladder stores it. So if we don't have the storage, it just goes drip, 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 drip like a faucet all the time. So when you eat those heavy meals, you feel nauseous. That makes sense. But however, please don't underestimate bile. Bile is manufactured in the liver, it's stored in the gallbladder, and you need it to even have a healthy bowel movement.
Also, it's helping with circulation. So if our bile, it's going to be impacting our hormones.
It's helping you utilize your hormones. It's helping, do the cofactors for useful hormones.
Poor gallbladder. He never gets any love. Like, very rare does anyone talk about him.
Two rules. Really, you're going to give a gold star here. I mean, I love the gallbladder, but all you have to do is hold the bile and secrete the bile.
It's the bile. The bile is the star of the show. He's the star of the show.
The bile gets the gold star.
Maybe also you got reflux, acid reflux or burning. You got some gastritis. So you got all that hanging out. And fun fact, Cris, when people are like, oh, I have acid reflux, so I'm taking a PPI.
Yeah, where we're suppressing hydrochloric acid likely further unless there is the presence of a true ulcer, then I'm going to give it to you. It's most often, again, in our world, it's hypochlorhydria, which means low stomach acid. So therefore, we're not breaking down our proteins. We're going to have probably poor digestion, slow transit time, bowels aren't coming out well. We feel a little bit more like tough in the stomach without the actual workout. And if for the omnivores, as soon as you touch a grain with that meat, we're going to get gas, bloat, burpee, like guaranteed. So that's the cofactor of digestion way up before it goes way down.
Yeah. So next, let's talk about the non-digestive symptoms that we could be getting that people might be ignoring, aside from acne. So we know that if we are dealing with acne, there's almost always a gut component. If we're having higher levels of inflammation in the gut, we have that dysbiosis, imbalance of bad bacteria and yeast. We got leaky gut going on. We got all of this. We're going to just be leading to inflammation, and inflammation is going to equal acne. Also, maybe you have breakouts that won't clear, right? Because we just talked about how important our gut and digestion is for hormones. So if we're getting breakouts that won't clear, if we have PMS, if we have heavy, painful, clotty periods, irregular cycles, we got anxiety, we got mood swings, we got brain fog, we got fatigue, guess what? All of that leads back to the gut.
What I don't want to add there is like right there. And it's like gone. It's just, I get the gut. You know what I mean? It's like my head kind of goes because as you're talking, I'm like getting all these other body systems in there, right? And I'm just like, why does the gut get so much limelight? Here's my whole question.
Because he does a lot.
Because it does a lot, but please also know by the time you have this dishevelment in your body, by the time your bowels are altered, there's been the compound load, right? Now you're definitely going to get what? Brain fog, mood swings, anxiety. So all of that is interconnected again. Like, look where the neurotransmitters are.
Your gut is responsible for metabolizing, regulating a lot of your hormones.
A lot. It's just, and like neurotransmitters, they act like little hormones, right? They're like moody too.
Yeah, they are.
But when let's just talk about emotional shifts because this is, acne, emotional shifts, anxiety, like we're going to give it to you, right? But if we have that irritability or that anxious feeling, so when those gut microbes and that nervous system communicate, when they fall out of balance, you don't feel good, right? You feel anxious. Sometimes it's relieved by eating because you've actually just given the nervous system something else to do. You've diverted it. It's like, oh, look at me, squirrel, and then it's gone, right? However, again, how it all interconnects is this is a domino. Mm-hmm. So we got to start to say, first things first is, okay, I have to bring it up.
Oh my God. What?
How many clients come in? Well-supported lower GI tract, well-supported gut. They're on the glutamines, they're on the zinc carcinine, they're on whatever. They're on everything.
They're on everything but.
I can think of you know what I mean? I'm trying to also not say things just so that people but they're on everything. Lower gut, like probiotics, high CFUs, these types of things. How many clients do we say come in with upper digestion addressed?
None. This just happened with a client that I looked at their file yesterday. I was like, whoa, you got literally 15 supplements. Actually, 15 bottles, not capsules, 15 bottles that they were on. And not one of them was for upper digestion, so upper GI digestion support.
And when we went through that, what did we see quite quickly?
Needed digestion support. It was huge digestive issue.
If you've been taking supplements for a long time with very minimal shifts, of course, doing the other lifestyle factors, something's wrong. Think about this. If your finger hurts and there's no laceration, anything there, and your finger hurts, are you like, oh, what did I do to my finger? Yes, we do. That's what we do. Instead of saying, oh, what potentially caused or what inside is happening, we don't do that. So just please watch digestion. Well, I think we should have a whole podcast on upper digestion.
Do we not have one yet? I don't really think we do.
I don't know, but I could talk about that every single day. I do talk about that every single day. This is like my iron.
Like, digestion is something I talk about on social media all the time. I'm like, are people getting sick of me talking about this? Because I literally talk about it like 6 times a week. Like, it is getting out of hand. But it's because it's so important, and I do not want people to overstep it. Because they're always like, oh, well, no, I don't need to work my digestion. I need to do a candida cleanse. I need to fix my SIBO. I need to take a bunch of DIM because I have hormonal acne. Like, that's what
I don't have any digestive issues is what I get. And then I'm like, oh, you have frequent headaches marked on your intake. Can we talk about that? Because that, again, is what? This is exactly what we're talking about.
Can I just say something that might ruffle some feathers, Cris?
Oh, I like when you do this. It's usually me.
I'm just going to say it because it does drive me a little crazy. Listen, I love our clients. We have amazing clients. We've got some really great ones. And then if you ever become a client, you work with us, I just want you to do so with an open mind, because when you come in, you're like, oh, no, I don't have digestive issues. I don't need to be doing that digestive work. Then what do you think you need to be doing? Oh, I need to be doing this. Well, didn't you just try that? Yeah, I did. So then why do you need our help? If you think you know how to do this, why did you come and request to get help from us? If you don't want to follow our recommendations, you don't want to follow the advice we give because you don't think you have X. So just keep that as an open mind. All right, everybody?
So you're asking everyone, please come with perspective.
Please come with perspective. Like, we know what we're doing. We've been doing this for a very long time. We've seen a lot. And I just want you to remember that if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again and expect a different result, that's just insanity. We know that. So let's come with open mind, different perspective, and let's try to pull things way back to the basics.
And make sure Katie's not your coach, because look how mean she isn't.
I was trying to say this in the most loving way possible.
No, it's because here's the thing. Because we just think, I don't have GERD, I don't have acid reflux, right? But I just said, what about the frequent headaches? They appear alongside gut imbalances, right? Particularly when inflammation or food reactions are involved. Boom. I said food reactions, so let's go up to what? Food sensitivity. That's the word I'm looking for. Food sensitivities.
It's a symptom, everybody. It's not a diagnosis. A food sensitivity is a symptom of poor gut health.
And here's the thing. Reactions to not just new foods, but reactions to foods such as fatigue, again, our classic headaches, skin irritations, digestive upset. Hello, gut lining. That's usually just says something's more reactive in the body, right? Now we're having emotional shifts and we're like, it's because I have acne, and because, yes, I understand that's your stress driver. But why are we having the irritability and the emotional shifts? Why is the nervous system not aligned? Why is the communication channels disrupted? And low energy, that feeling of that like fatigue, right? That's nutrient absorption or potentially microbial balance. That affects energy production. If you can show me, like Katie says, the know-it-alls, but if you can show me that you are eating it, then I'm going to say, let's make it work for you. Let's get that nutrient absorption in. Right? Like, so no, it's not just about those physical, because that's all we hear really on social a lot. Or at least every so often when I'm on it, or when my husband sends me something because he's trying to educate me on this topic.
Yeah,
obviously. That's my favorite.
That's super fun.
One thing, there's 2 more that I have on the top of my head. What do you want to say?
I just wanted to mention the gut-brain skin axis.
Oh, I have 2 more hiddens. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you do those, and then we'll wrap it up with the gut-brain skin axis.
Sexy food cravings. So if you have strong cravings, and let me take out the word strong, because as soon as I say strong, they're like, I don't have strong cravings.
You've got cravings.
if you have cravings for sugar, refined carbohydrates, that can arise, really when certain gut microbials, they dominate and they influence that appetite signal. They're like, more sugar, Cris, right? Think about it. When you've had a beautiful meal, it's all balanced, it's all whole foods, and within 20 minutes, you're like, I am so hungry. Then have another plate. Oh, no, I don't want another plate. What do you want? Ice cream. Right there, right? And my other one is sleep disturbances. For the love of God, this is where I fall in. I'm going to be totally transparent.
What do you mean?
My sleep sucks.
We were talking about this when you came for dinner a few weeks ago. How both of our sleep isn't like sucking at the moment.
Whether that's difficulty falling asleep, waking during the night, or feeling really unrested in the morning, sometimes really that can reflect gut-related inflammation and nervous system signaling. Please note, if your nervous system is on hiatus, then we are perpetuating more inflammation. And the longer that we have more inflammation, the more chance that we have that our bacterial bodies, because that's what we're derived from, they shift, they warrant it, they eat our ugly, right? They really do. They eat a lot of the ugly in the body, and then that becomes food for them. So when I start to say, okay, you're eating beautifully, you don't have any quote unquote specific digestive markers, do you have joint stiffness or aches in the body? All of this is connected. Fair?
All right.
So you wanted to move on, so go ahead.
I did want to talk about the gut-brain-skin axis, right? And this is just a fancy way of saying your gut, your brain, and your skin all talk to each other. When one is stressed...
It truly is, isn't it?
When you break it down to them, they're just all talking to each other.
Again, look, medical degree.
Medical degree. It's just, they're all talking to each other.
Yep.
Because I've been trying, I really want this year to make sure that we're breaking this down in a really easy to understand way so people actually get it instead of just, I think often we forget how much we know and then we talk in this practitioner speak. So I want to break it down so everybody gets it.
Does this mean like you're going solo on the podcast now then?
Yeah, I'm going to kick Cris off. I have to see if Paige is available.
Yeah. She's actually pretty geeky lately, so.
She has been actually. So just know that when one area is stressed, the other one is going to feel it. So for example, your gut, your digestive system. It's really helping to break our food down, like we talked about, absorbing nutrients, housing bacteria, controlling inflammation. So if the gut is off, we will notice all of those symptoms we just talked about. And that's what creates inflammation. And inflammation is going to be showing up as acne, redness, maybe rosacea, maybe eczema, maybe rashes, because your skin is one of the last places this problem is going to show up. Your skin and your bowel movements are two windows you have into your body. And then when you think about your brain, when your brain controls a lack of, an easy way of saying it, stress. When you're stressed, your body is going to be making more cortisol, our stress hormone. Our oil production is going to increase. Our digestion is going to slow down. Our gut bacteria, our good gut bacteria can go down. So when we're stressed like this, we're going to be triggering breakouts, making redness worsen. Our skin is going to be slower at repairing. So think about it. Like, have you ever been stressed, going through a really tough time and your skin flares? This is the brain talking to the gut and the skin. And then that final component is your skin is reflecting what's happening inside. If your gut's inflamed, your stress is high, your hormones are shifting, your skin is going to react. So this is really that gut-brain-skin axis. And remembering that our gut and our brain, they talk to each other. They talk to each other through the vagus nerve. They're BFFs. So remember, our body does not work in silos.
Exactly. So now that you have these cofactors, potential connectors, you have some tools to start isolating and discerning the information. This is how we build on this. Because not only do we want to make it simple, but we want to expose, right? We want to expose the way we can take the information and we want to expose it so that everybody can start to make the change.
And start to feel better. And
sometimes feeling better.
Small little habits can make such a big difference, you guys. It doesn't always have to be, I need to go on a candida cleanse. It's like, can we just be getting you to break your food down well, absorbing the nutrients and pooping every day? Like that alone can give you such big relief from so many symptoms.
Tackling the mindset, because I'm not going to let that go. And bang, 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 you are looking sexy.
There you go. And you want to know, if you guys need help with this, we have so many different ways now. If you really want to, focus a lot on digestion, blood sugar, fueling your body. Clear skin in 30 days is like your new BFF. It's under $50. It's super, super doable. Crazy amount of information in there. If you do need additional support, like we have our GI map, you can go and get a GI map done to see what's going on in your gut. You can come hang out with us in the Clear Skin Solution. I'll pop the link below for you to check all of this out.
Don't you have a membership?
We have so much, you guys. I wanted to make sure there was something for everybody. So
I
check
forget.
the show notes.
Honestly, do not ask Cris what Katie offers, because Cris has no clue. It changes
week.
daily.
I'm like, Cris, there's this now available. And she's like, oh, okay.
And like, just give me a spreadsheet.
Just whatever spreadsheet. But I will put all of that in the in the show notes. And if you have any questions, just shoot me a DM. Always happy to answer. And I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day. We'll see you next week.